Hey, all, this is the Public Safety Future Responders podcast with Firefighter Tiger and Firefighter Ringback that are hosting this podcast. This is our second episode, so I'm glad you can be able to stick around after our first episode, which was traffic and weather. On this episode, we are going to be talking about the fire service and breaking down the myths between volunteers and paid departments. Even though there's a lot of similarities between the two, there are some differences that I want to point out, along with some other interesting facts from the fire service. So yes, let's get into it. We're going to start off with that myth between volunteers and paid. Basically, pretty much in the fire service, everybody does the same exact job. The only difference is that fact that volunteers, we do not get paid to respond to calls. We may get a little something from the town, from the community, but most of the time we do not get paid, unlike our brothers and sisters in the paid departments who do get paid to run into burning buildings, go to motor vehicle accidents, to pretty much all fire service related calls, along with medical calls. Another difference is the fact that in the United States alone, a lot more departments are volunteered compared to career firefighting, because originally that's what started out the fire service. It started out with volunteer firefighters risking everything to be able to go into burning houses, to go to motor vehicle accidents, to pretty much most of the calls that even now the paid departments are being paid to do. Not only are there volunteers and paid, there are also some departments in some communities that are a combination. So you're thinking to yourself, what is a combination fire department? Well, to be honest with you, it's basically the same as just a volunteer or just paid departments. The only thing is that Monday through Friday, there could be career firefighters stationed in the houses, and then on weekends and holidays and at night, there are volunteer firefighters that will come in for that department to be able to respond to calls that would not necessarily need to be paid. So that way the community does not need to do a callback of paid firefighters back to the firehouse to go get apparatus to respond to those calls. Another difference between paid and volunteer firefighters is that the fact that with the paid departments, even though both paid, volunteer, no matter what department it is, you get a budget, volunteers end up having to do more fundraising kind of work to be able to fund things for their company, for their fire companies, fire departments, whereas the paid departments don't have to do as much, maybe just charity stuff here or there for like Fire Prevention Month in October or something charitable. But most volunteer work is usually ending up being more like raising money to be able to pay for things for the company, even though even volunteer companies do get a budget from the town. The other thing is that's also great for having volunteer fire departments in your community is the fact that you don't have to worry about having to pay the firefighters to be able to respond to calls, unlike other paid departments. Most volunteer companies are usually going to be found in your suburbs or in your local communities, whereas paid departments will end up being found in like pretty much your cities and your metropolitan areas where a large number of people are needed. So yeah, like for example, some of the large departments that are paid are your New York Fire Departments over in New York, the Los Angeles Fire Department, and then there are some volunteer companies that are like my hometown of Portland, Connecticut is a volunteer company. My co-host's hometown is a volunteer company. So we do have that mixture between volunteers and paid departments, except the fact that the fire service was mostly built on volunteers who wanted to be able to support their community and to be able to help their community out and not have to worry about having to be paid to worry about it. Because you can even, like it is, even though you may, paid departments like to get money and everything, but in order for those departments to be paid, unfortunately, stuff people don't like the most, like your taxes, end up being higher because you got to pay those firefighters, whereas volunteers, your taxes don't necessarily need to be high enough to pay those firefighters and everybody else. So yes, this will conclude our second episode, which is the fire service. Oh, and one more interesting fact before we get to leave you. Back when the fire service was originally started, it was started by one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, who, along with some other experiments, was able to start it out. He started out the fire service down in Philadelphia, PA, where the founding fathers used to be. So there's a little interesting history fact for y'all who likes to want to listen to history. This will conclude our second episode of the Public Safety Future Responders, episode 2, the fire service. discussion. I'm glad hopefully you like it. If you do, please do us a favor and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, that like button over on our YouTube channel, and check us out on our website, which will be linked in the bottom of the description for the video. So I hope you do enjoy. Stick around. Episode 3 will be out next Tuesday. Where we'll be talking about some more fun stuff relating to the public safety. So stick around for that. And another thing is stick around for our weather report, for our lovely weather report today, and our positivity message by yours truly, Firefighter Tiger. So stick around. We're gonna have some more fun with positivity work. So y'all have a good day, and I hope to hear from you soon.